Hey, kids, you're listening to a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast. That's right, we're the podcast that explores the American animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest ones when they're available, like this week. Why do we do it like that? Well, there's plenty of other podcasts out there that explore the quote-unquote golden age of The Simpsons, that being seasons 1 through 10, so we thought we'd explore the later seasons and find the gold in there. Also, an entity known as the Wheel of Random has trapped us and forced us to watch the show in such a manner. I say we because I'm one annoyed grunt boy named Steve, and with me, as always, is the other annoyed grunt boy,
Craig.
Hello, Craig. How's it going?
Just got done watching a baseball game to record this podcast. And that's not a joke.
I believe it, because I feel like sometimes you just watch a baseball game while we record.
I might have been known to do that a couple times, but right now we're good. I'm not doing that. I'm clearly not on Reddit just looking at people's dinners from last night or their takes on The Simpsons. No, we know I don't follow Simpsons subreddits. That's dumb.
It is dumb. No, nobody would.
No, it's like, I know this episode's about baseball, but, it's that time of the year, like, working from home, have background noise on, and it's like, I don't want the TV on just to showing, like, stuff, but a baseball game they play in the day, I don't care. It's on. It's nice background noise for me.
I would say that of all the media possible, aside from old sitcoms, it's hard to beat baseball as the background noise of choice.
The background noise choice of America.
I know that's faint praise, but, there's something pleasant about, like, having a baseball game, like, on the radio or in the background, and, like, you're not paying attention, but every now and then you might hear the crack of the bat, and you look around, and you're like, oh, that's a fun play, and then you just go about your day. I think it's good.
Like, how many times do, like, we, like, go to a bar and just, like, sit at the bar, hang out, drink, and, like, a baseball game's on, and then it's like, oh, they're replaying something. Let's watch it. And it's, a cool play. And you're like, that was neat. Anyways.
Yeah, it's the thing you do when you're doing something else.
Like, we used to go to, when Portland had a baseball team, AAA team, the Beavers, they would have Thirsty Thursdays. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure minor league parks still do it around this country. But at the time, it was like $2, like 16 ounces, like $2 16 ounce beers of like Miller Lite, which is fine by me. Mm-hmm. Going on Thirsty Thursday, it was a lot cheaper to go there, pay like the $8 general admission ticket, and then $2 for a beer, and you would just drink until the 7th inning, they cut it off, and cheap, fun night. Yeah,
you're sitting outside, you're getting some fresh air, and you get to watch the game, but you don't care, so whatever happens, it's fine. It's great. It's what we need in this world is more passive entertainment, and I think that baseball does that the best.
It's one of my favorite things to do is to go to a minor league baseball game, and like, I don't really care about either of these teams. It's just, cheap way to go out and enjoy the air. Yep. They should do Simpsons like that.
Just like a boring episode of The Simpsons that you can, like, put on?
No, I meant like, actors come out on a baseball field and we're all sitting around and they just act out episodes of The Simpsons for us.
Oh, that'd be great.
Even though we've seen it, all the time.
I think that'd be a lot of fun, though.
There's a comedy troupe of like 7 players. And you just yell at suggestions like, do Lisa on Ice. And then they reenact Lisa on Ice for us. And then
crush the bone. Yeah, I like it.
Of course, you can't get paid for it because it's a copyright infringement.
Of course, but you can tell your parents that you're on a team and make them proud for once.
Yeah.
Got a coach and everything.
Could you imagine? My daughter comes home like, Mom, Dad, I made a team. I'm like, oh, congratulations. What? Volleyball, soccer, baseball? No, the improv team. Oh, man.
Disappointing parents since 1964.
Well, I guess they have friends now. Oh, no, I'm still awkwardly shy and won't hang out with people after our improv sets.
See, that's the thing about improv is they're all awkward nerds. So they lack social skills. That's why they're doing improv. So yeah, they don't hang out.
You know who else is awkward nerds, Steve?
Who's that?
Comedy writers.
That's true. And podcasters.
And podcasters that talk about a comedy TV show that's animated.
That's right. Like us. So let's be awkward on topic and talk about The Simpsons and this week's episode, which is entitled A League of Their Moe. After Grampa and Moe recruit a Macedonian slugger to play in Springfield, it strains their friendship and the very integrity of baseball. Alrighty, let's give this episode a watch, and we'll be right back.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game today. The fans are out to get a ticket or two from Walla Walla, Washington to Kalamazoo.
And we're back. Today we're talking about A League of Their Moe, the 19th episode of the 36th season. It is episode 787 in the show's run. It originally aired on April 27th, 2025. Your nerd code is 36ABF08. It was written by Joel H. Cohen, directed by Rob Oliver, and your showrunners are Matt Selman, Michael Price, and Al Jean.
All right, Joel H. Cohen. Look, this is the 16th episode that we've reviewed. He has a total of 39 episodes, and, he's up there with names of writers that you see a lot on The Simpsons.
Well put.
That's good enough. And we can review, every episode he's ever written, right? So we're good.
It looks like he started in season 13, so yeah, we're in the clear.
Right. His first credit, I guess, would be the first episode of season 13. That's Treehouse of Horror 12. But, co-writing credits with John Friedkin, Don Payne, and Caroline Omini. But the first episode that was just under his name was Brawl in the Family. That was our 21st episode from season 13, episode 7. Yeah. I believe Brawl in the Family, I'm going to assume there was some fighting going on in that episode.
Yeah, among the family.
That was our 21st episode. That was when we were pretty much haven't changed the format since then. So we figured it out.
It is with Delroy Lindo as Gabriel, who plays a social service officer looking to help the family. Yeah, I remember that episode clearly.
Yeah. We wouldn't review another episode in his chronology until season 17's episode 7, the last the Red Hat Mamas. So we got 4 episodes in between season 13 and 17.
Wow.
That he wrote. And I won't say them because it's a little personal,
I understand, yeah. I respect your privacy.
Still writing episodes, the last couple seasons, like season 35, there was the Do the Wrong Thing, which was an episode.
Sure.
And then Frankenstein's Monster. Are we fans of good old Joel H. Cohen?
I think he's pretty okay. Yeah, I think he's solid. We liked Frankenstein's Monster. I think we liked our most recent episode that we reviewed, that being the last of the Red Hat Mamas, rather. He loves to fly and he does, where Homer goes to Chicago and meets Stephen Colbert. That was a fun episode.
Yeah, he likes to write about the characters on the show. That's good.
That makes him stand out more than most writers.
Yeah. But we've said it all, of course. We probably said it in every episode that he's the younger brother of Robert Cohen, who, of course, wrote the famous Flaming Moe's episode.
Indeed, and he's not related to either of the Cohen brothers.
Well, Steve, let's just get into this episode, and you're our starting pitcher, so deliver us the goods.
All right, our episode begins, as it always does, in 1944 at Isotope Stadium. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd. America's favorite non-war pastime is in full swing. As you can see, the Topes play against Cleveland for just a nickel. And in those days, nickels had pictures of bumblebees on them. Give me 5 bees for a quarter, they'd say. Wait, where are we? Oh yeah, we're talking baseball.
So we got young Abe Simpson cheering when the Isotopes score another run. But as he holds his peanuts, and hopefully he's got his Cracker Jacks, he asks Grandpa, well, he's Grandpa, but he has his own Grandpa, Steve, you see.
Indeed.
Why the opposing team is made up of old men and little kids. His grandfather explains that all the good players are busy fighting in the war, but the clever cowards on the field found a way out.
And as one of those cowards ticks the mound, Abe remembers his grandfather etching their name in the stands with a promise that someday Abe will be doing the same for his grandson. But, as we'll hear in this clip, that's not quite the case in the present day.
Now batting for Springfield, Fake Cough Johnson.
Ooh, cough.
Someday you'll be sitting in these very seats, enjoying baseball with a grandson of your own.
I can't wait for that someday.
Aw, I'm still waiting. hard at your grandpa. It's a beautiful day for a ball game.
Baseball's just a bunch of guys in tight pants barely moving. I can watch that here.
Marge, my stomach ate my belt again.
Look under the phone.
I'm too scared. I guess it's just me and the self-storage units again. Dagnabbit.
Two things from that clip that I really enjoyed. Fake Cough Johnson. Cough, cough.
Yeah.
And then Homer, of course, saying that he's too scared.
It's always great when a character says a scared.
Yeah, it's like comedy gold for me. It makes me laugh every time. You know what's interesting is that if that was 1944 and let's say Abe was about 8 years old, we make a lot of jokes about how old my dad is, but that's exactly how old my dad would have been.
Wow, your dad's your grandpa now?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's how that works. And I'm my own uncle.
Well, after looking at the take it out to the ball game self-storage units, Abe watches as the Isotopes play against the Yankees. So after a line drive to left field, Abe comments that the team is cooking in the only way men should. That's sexist, Abe, all right?
It is.
In the seemingly empty bleachers, Grandpa hears another fan cheer. And Abe calls out to the fan, who is Moe, the bartender, asking if he'd like some company. And when Moe lets out an indifferent groan, Abe takes it as an invitation to join him.
So the two men sit in a respectable urinal distance away from each other, barely speaking, aside from commenting about how poorly the home team is performing. And Abe thinks back to ND1, where the tropes could have made it if only Flash Lewis wasn't arrested mid-game. And Moe agrees, saying the player could steal bases almost as good as he could steal nitrous from the dentist's office. Moe then suggests a time-honored tradition that fans have been doing for generations, razzing the opposing team.
You suck! My kidney stones move quicker than your fastball.
You pitch worse than Sandy Koufax on Yom Kippur.
Whatever the hell that is.
We rattled him.
That wasn't because of you. I'm having troubles with my marriage.
Well, at least you're striking out somewhere. Oh! I've never enjoyed losing 14-1 more. Misery isn't so bad when you have company.
Yeah, hey, they should make a saying about that. Yeah, but they probably won't. Hey, listen, if you don't end up stroking out the next couple of days, maybe we could do this again? Or not. Why do you have to come on so hard, Moe? Stupid.
I'd love to.
Wow. Hey, that's great. Hey, would it be okay if I added you as a contact in my phone? You'd be the first one.
And you'll be my only living one.
My favorite bit is when they're talking about Misery Loves Company and Moe's like, they should make a saying about that. They probably won't. Like, it's a good joke, but also seems like something Homer would say.
That's true, yeah.
And it's funny that this episode came out. I'm going to kind of timestamp it because, like, razzing the players is part of the game. We saw it, the little Simpsons kids razzing Daryl Strawberry back in 92.
Oh, yes.
But there was a recent Boston Red Sox and Cleveland Guardians game, and apparently there was a fan yelling at, there's a player for Red Sox named Jaron Duran, and he revealed in a Netflix documentary that he attempted suicide 3 years ago.
Ooh.
And so someone in the stands was telling him like he should have killed himself.
Wow.
And like that's a little too far to be razzing on players. I mean, they did throw him out, the person in the stands. That's pretty inappropriate.
Yeah, I mean, we make a lot of like dark jokes, but that's pretty awful to me.
No. Yeah, it's funny because I was at a baseball game recently. It's just I start laughing because it's always like some drunk dude, and I'm just watching the drunk dude like yell at the umpires and these minor league baseball players. It's I mean, it's part of the game, but I just laugh because it's so silly.
It is silly, like especially for like minor leagues. Like they're just having fun. I
mean, if you start doing it in like little league games, then that's a problem.
Right. There's a happy medium in between little league and pros where you can do you can do whatever you want. But that does bring up kind of this confusion, I think, that the internet is having with this episode, at least according to my research, that the Isotopes have always been a minor league team all the way back to Dance and Homer, but now they're pro. And it doesn't really bother me, but I know that some people especially on the website Reddit, are not happy. But they're never happy, so.
This could have been happening off screen, right? You know, like Isotopes have been promoted to the majors. You know, there's a joke later on, like they're going to expand the team to 50 teams, which, you know, there's only 30 teams. So that's saying that in the Simpsons universe, there's at least less than 50. There's at least 49 teams, maybe.
Yeah.
If Springfield has a team before Portland, then I'm just pissed off, right?
That's true. Yeah, we should be the Isotopes.
I mean, it also could be the Albuquerque Isotopes.
Maybe they went pro.
Well, they didn't, but I'm saying, like, what if the Albuquerque Isotopes are still the minor league team, and then the Springfield Isotopes got bumped up to the majors, because you could have the same team names.
That's true, yeah.
So I think Reddit, although usually right, this time they might be wrong.
The one time that their opinion is not quite right.
Look, we only subscribe to r/conservative. It's the only subreddit that makes sense.
Yeah, it's such a good subreddit. It's like the subreddit, am I an asshole? But the answer is always yes. In that clip also, as we ended, Mo was talking about putting Abe in his phone, and Abe talking about having Mo being the one contact that isn't dead. And some of the dead people and no longer things in his phone include Corbin Everly from Bart's Brain, Edsel Dealerships, Larry the Barfly, may he rest in peace, Maud Flanders, may she also rest in peace, Pan Am, Rabbi Kostovsky, I don't think they believe in heaven, but he can rest in peace as well, and Woolworths.
It's a defunct store, Steve, Woolworths. For those who don't know.
Yes.
Why did he have Maud's number?
That's a good question.
And how come he didn't have who was that lady that he was dating?
Grandpa's girlfriend.
Yeah, why didn't he have Grandpa's girlfriend?
It would have been funny if that was like in the Lisbeth does that, yeah. I think they made reference to her one time, and in parentheses it was Grandpa's girlfriend.
Okay.
Like in a tombstone or something.
Do you wish you were able to fly like on a Pan Am back in like the 60s?
From that brief ABC show, Pan Am, it made it look really sexy. So yeah, I think I would like that.
It was probably obviously very kind of sexist, but you know,
all the same.
I'd like to have like whatever weird Jell-O mold food that people ate in the 60s and a dry martini on my flight. And I'm free to take my own gun on and my own cigars, and I could just be happy on a plane.
That's right. Just lighting them up and shooting them off.
But now I really don't want to go on any plane, so I'm good.
That's fair. Yeah. They're death traps.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Like most things in this country. It's like a landmine field of horrible things. But we still have baseball.
Well, Mo and Abe return to the stadium to watch Springfield take on Atlanta. Mo uses binoculars to get a better look at the field, while Grandpa uses his binoculars to examine the program. So the sports fans continue their budding friendship at the Springfield Retirement Castle, watching the game in the communal TV area. So they attempt to start a wave, but the elderly folks are reluctant to join in. So when the Diamondbacks pay a visit to their hometown, Abe and Mo haze the players until they are in tears. Now, another thing with like the professional teams in this episode, they're all wearing like not their colors. So this is, not your traditional 3D baseball teams. They just happen to like have the same names.
That's true.
Different color.
That's a good point. Maybe it's just an alternate universe where everything works.
Yeah, exactly.
I think last week we were talking about how weird it was that Mo and Abe were friends, but this feels organic.
Yeah.
And it also made me think about how Mo has kind of befriended, I think, everybody in the Simpsons family except for Bart.
Yeah, I was going to say, have they had an adventure yet? I don't think they have.
I don't think so, because I know Maggie and him and Lisa, and I feel like he and Marge had the thing.
Well, they had the pub together, because remember she bought it?
That's right,
and
yeah.
They were business partners, yeah.
And they had the toilet. And I don't think there's a Bart adventure, but maybe next season we'll get them.
I mean, it's already like in my brain what it would be. Because, you have to have like, they got to make a call back to, again, I'm pitching ideas like somewhere they have to be on a phone. So Bart has to make like a prank call with Mo, and then Mo should just like laugh like, that's funny stuff. Like,
yeah, just love it.
There's one guy back in the 90s who used to do this to me all the time, but he doesn't anymore. Another thing is about the retirement center. Like, Do none of the people have TVs in their own room and there's just one area for TV? Or is it just like they want to get together to watch something to be part of a community? Like,
yeah,
if I'm in a retirement home, I don't want to hang out with these people. I just want to sit in my room and watch TV.
I know, that's all there too, is like I'd shut the door and be like, leave me alone. But maybe the retirement castle only has the one TV, which is kind of sad.
We've talked about it before. Like, once we hit 55, we're going to move into like a retirement center or building because, they got like a restaurant that's just built into the place and like you don't have to go anywhere. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like living in a mall. Everything you need is right there.
Yeah. We'll have to pick out a nice one.
Yeah, we'll get the fanciest one, like with all of the bells and whistles and like the best Jell-O. Old people like Jell-O.
Your wife can live with you.
She can be my nurse.
Yeah.
she'll be fine for another 20 or 30 years. She's a lot younger than me. Well, as Abe and Moe watch another game at Moe's titular tavern, Homer walks in, surprised to see that his father and his bartender are hanging out together, witnessing the guy he's going to bury with the guy who is going to bury him in the same space leads Homer to need a drink. But where could he go?
And then the audience laughed. That was such a sitcom thing.
It was, yeah.
After Homer runs out of the bar screaming the unprecedented double perfect game is in its 9th inning until it is erupted with some breaking baseball news. Sports commentators Kevin Burkhardt and Kevin Millar report on a new prospect who's about to play in the big show. The once-in-a-generation player is a Macedonian two-way phenom, Rope Us Walkoff, who is leaving the Minsk Golems to achieve his lifelong dream of playing in America.
So the sportscasting Kevins go on to describe Walkoff's history, developing his unique two-handed pitching skill at the ripe young age of 6 while helping his father, who made his living as the village's rat catcher. So young Aropus hurls a large boulder which lands squarely on a rat. He also acquired his immense power at the plate from his home country, using a plank of wood to hit his rats over the barbed wire fence into neighboring Greece, where he'd knock off one of their iconic columns.
You get his name, right? Walkoff?
Yeah, because it's like a baseball thing.
Yeah, okay.
Is Otani also a baseball pun?
No, but his dad was the village's rat catcher.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Well, every city will be eager to sign Walkoff, but Moe fears that the Topes aren't capable of luring the superstar, since they aren't like one of them classy cities like Philadelphia or Anaheim. Abe wistfully thinks that if the home team started winning, perhaps Bart would finally go to a game with him. So Abe lets out a defeat breath, but Moe tells him to suck that sigh back into his gobble chute. Sure, Springfield may be a grease-stained mattress graveyard, but the team has passionate, dedicated fans.
Well, Grandpa isn't so sure, but Moe tells his new friend he has faith, before calling him a lovable bag of Alzheimer's. He suggests that they make a video appealing to the two-handed throwing Euro Sasquatch. Abe is worried that all the other, more wealthy teams will do the same, but Moe has a secret weapon. He's fluent in Macedonian.
Abe is doubtful of most foreign language skills, especially since he can barely speak the English. So after Abe slowly and loudly shouts, "No offense!" Moe recalls learning Macedonian from his grandmother. He remembers being a baby sitting in a chicken wire crib in his ramshackle cottage, wearing a Lieb brand bread bag as a diaper, as his grandmother ashes her cigarette in the crib, telling Moe that he's useless, contributes nothing, and is a leech, all in her native tongue.
Pretty bleak. But back in the modern era, Moe comments that no one could put out a cigarette on the back of your neck, quite like Baba Branca. Abe and Moe agree to make a video, so Moe pulls out his camcorder, taped together with random parts and powered by a lawnmower engine, which happens to be out of gas. And later, in his home village, in front of several giant sacks of potatoes, Aropus Walkoff uses his 90s laptop to watch videos of various cities, luring him to join their team.
Hey, Walkoff, Chris Rock here to tell you why you should come and play for my favorite team, the New York Mets. What a city! Where else can you get a sandwich at 3 a.m. and a gun at the same bodega?
Oh. Mr. Walkoff, I'm Danny Trejo. I have 468 credits on my IMDb. So why don't you just be like me and say yes to any job in L.A.?
I like that the Hollywood sign is changed from Hollywood to Holly Walkoff.
I feel like Danny Trejo just did that himself.
And he also probably did a stick and poke tattoo on his chest of walk-off as well.
Danny Trejo might have pulled a blunder on himself, Steve. He said he had 462, but as of this recording, he has 451 completed acting credits, but a total of 738, which includes 218 appearances as himself.
All the same, that's a lot of work.
It almost makes me think we probably could have got him on this podcast.
Yeah, next week we'll get him. He might replay fun of us. Who knows?
That'd be nice. And of course also was Christopher Rock.
That's right, Mr. Rock himself. So Walkoff considers the propositions from the star of Machete and the victim of the slap. I know it's in joke jail, but he's right there, so I have to mention it. He then checks his email, which shows various other cities willing to bend over backwards to lure him, such as
Toronto Blue Jays willing to change their name to the Walkoffs.
The Washington Nationals waving from the Lincoln Memorial.
The Sacramento Athletics. Sorry, I'm not calling them the Las Vegas A's until they actually go to Las Vegas in 3 years, Steve.
Fair enough.
Oakland Athletics displaying Walkoff's face in the Las Vegas Sphere, inviting him to be part of the proud tradition of abandoning other cities for 3 to 4 years.
Seattle, where he can come to play where there's no pressure to win.
That one's very true. The Angels, who invite him to play in California Sunshine, but not LA, San Diego, or San Francisco Sunshine.
The Twins, because when people hear Minnesota, they think baseball.
The Padres, who invite him to play in the California Sunshine. That's not LA, Anaheim, or San Francisco Sunshine.
And the White Sox with the email address whitesox@freeemaillibrary.com saying, with you, we'd only be semi-terrible.
It's all really funny as a baseball fan.
Mm-hmm.
White Sox were really horrible past couple of years, so that's a good joke. The Seattle Mariners one, that's the one that hits the most because that's literally how the fans feel about the team.
So you're saying it hits close to home, unlike the Mariners.
There you go. Seattle Mariners are the only current teams that play in the Major League that have never been to a World Series.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Out of 30 teams. Yep.
Wow, they're bad. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were that bad. I thought they were okay, but man.
Well, the thing is, they'll have a good team, but then they just fall apart during playoffs if they get there, postseason kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I never say, oh, they're good this year. The last couple of years they've been decent, but last year they sucked. But anyways, it doesn't matter. We're not a baseball podcast yet.
Well, while all of these opportunities may be alluring, Walkoff just isn't sold. Just then, a package drops into his mail slot from Springfield, USA. Inside, there's an Isotopes baseball hat and a VHS tape. Luckily, the Macedonian athlete has a VCR handy, so he pops it in and watches as Moe and Abe stand in front of Isotopes Field in uniform, making their case.
Abe says hello in English, and Moe takes over in Macedonian, saying, "We're two loyal baseball fans asking you to come play for our team. Other cities may want you, but do they need you? Well, Springfield does." So after scratching his ass while Moe was talking, Abe finishes the plea, calling Walkoff a big, beautiful, farm-fed foreigner.
The camera then zooms out to show the people of the city of Springfield saying, "Springfield Hearts Walkoff," and then we see that all the people are standing in formation to spell out Walkoff's name. Even the statue of Jebediah Springfield is decked out in Tope's jersey.
Then a pigeon runs into Moe's drone camera, which he has planned on using to see the trees he planted in erotic formations have grown. So the drone then crashes, pointing directly at the Springfield tire fire, and Walkoff looks out his window to see his own tire fire, and knows that he will soon call Springfield Dom, Macedonian for home. He dons the Tope's hat, and later a press conference is held to introduce Walkoff, with the help of Moe as a translator and Abe as the superfan.
Тука сум поради прекрасното видео, што го направија овие двајца луѓе. Мртовец изрод.
I am here because of a beautiful video made by these two men, Corpse and Gargoyle.
We did it! We saved Springfield baseball!
Springfield baseball! I gotta assume that's a misunderstanding.
There's a superstar in Springfield for the first time since Bullseye the Target Dog's private plane landed here to empty its trash. Thanks to the newly signed Walkoff, Baseball is back. Yay! And Mayor Quimby has sold off every traffic light in town to pay for renovations to the ballpark.
Go Isotopes!
How fun would that be? No traffic lights at all.
I'll just zoom on by and trust everyone else to be okay.
In my area, they're starting to put in more roundabouts, and that's the way to go. I like the roundabouts.
Yeah, whether it's yes or the physical thing, I'm a fan. So, of course, we heard Walkoff talking in Macedonian, and playing him is Jamie Demetro, who is an actor best known for his work in Fleabag, Paddington 2, and his own sitcom, Stathlet's Flats, but he's also mostly known for being the brother of Natasha Demetro, who plays Nadia on What We Do in the Shadows.
He's known for having a sister.
Yes, that's what I know him from.
I mean, I've seen a couple episodes of Fleabag, and I've seen Paddington 2.
Paddington 2 is a great movie.
Yeah, it is. All of them are great.
Have you seen the newest one?
Yeah.
Is it good? I've not seen it yet.
Yeah, I got kicked out of the theater, though, because I was throwing chickens at the screen.
Are you dipping your dick in marmalade?
No, I was just trying to reference, like, those kids that get kicked out of Minecraft. Aren't they
right.
On the screens? Yeah, Minecraft.
That's weird.
What did... What did baby Hitler say when his mom took away his macaroni and cheese? Minecraft!
That's good.
All right. Are we cutting that?
No, you're leaving that.
Okay. Hey, the Macedonian rendition of Take Me Out the Ball Game plays. We see Springfield come down with the horrible case of baseball fever. So the Lard Lad statue is wearing an Isotopes hat, and Springfield Elementary is up for sale to pay for stadium renovation. Groundskeeper Willie included, as he's tied to a chain. Even Krusty Burger is getting in on the action, offerings the Walk-Off Smash Burger, which promises, like with Walk-Off, runs guaranteed.
Yum. As the unveiling of the new Isotopes Trobolone Stadium, Mayor Quimby hands Walkoff a giant pair of golden scissors to cut the red ribbon. But rather than a simple snip, Walkoff tosses the scissors, cutting off the top of Marta's beehive before impaling the head of the Isotopes mascot, killing him instantly. And at the first game in the new stadium, Abe is elated to have a very special guest join him.
Thanks for taking me to see Walkoff's first game, Grandpa.
My grandson is going to a game with me. Now I can die less unhappy.
All because of what yous and me did.
We're a great team, like Martin and Lewis.
Thank you for noticing. Wow, look at this place. The scoreboard's huge. It's like everyone here is looking at the same phone.
Still too small.
Great joke with a 10-year-old boy like looking at the Jumbotron. Thinking it's a giant phone. That's a great scene. But let's just talk about the best joke, Steve. Go.
Martin and Lewis.
Like, that joke's only for boomers, really.
Boomer Simpsons fan, because, like, I feel like most people, like, most non-Simpsons nerds don't know who Lewis Clark is. And, yeah, the weird Venn diagram of knowing who Martin and Lewis and who Martin and Lewis are.
Well, it's kind of like the same joke we make when we talk about Sherry and Terry. We call her Sherry O'Terry, like the great performer from SNL, like in the early 2000s.
That's right, yeah.
But also, let's just talk about the other thing with Martin and Lewis. They're holding hands.
That's right. Now, we've talked about the young boy's sexuality.
Well, just Martin's, not Lewis's.
Exactly, yeah. So we've talked about how, of course, Martin will someday end up with Nelson. But it's nice that, he's playing, if you'll pardon the baseball pun, the field.
This could also be pre-Nelson Martin, like, hooking up. It obviously is. But I think Nelson's going to see this and feel a little butthurt.
Not as butthurt as after he meets Martin, but yes.
But I think this is a shout out to us because we would make this joke, right? I think the Simpsons writers are listening to us and they put that in for us. So I'm going to say that was a nod to this podcast. What do you think?
100%. I think Joel H. Cohen was like, oh, this one's for the annoyed grunt boys.
Is that your Joel H. Cohen?
Yes, that's exactly what he sounds like, I think. Like me, a dork.
Yeah. But there's a lot of ads around the scoreboard, Steve, just like in the old stadium you're at. So what kind of companies do we got?
We've got Wager Walrus,
Dim Willies,
Buzz Cola with lemon,
Spreadheads,
The Try and Save,
and Carrot Top's Prop Bets. That's just a really good joke.
It is. It's solid. So the game's about to begin, but first, the national anthem. And Moe goes to translate for walk-off, but is concerned since there isn't a Macedonian word for free. Moe invites Bart to meet the big teddy bear after the game, saying that walk-off wouldn't be there if not for Abe. And in some sick way, Bart wouldn't be there either if not for Abe, meaning that if Abe hadn't slept with Mona, they wouldn't have had Homer, and Homer hadn't slept with Marge, they wouldn't have Bart. So as they take their seats, Abe adds plus Bart to the Grandpa plus Abe etched in the railing of the stands so many years ago.
You mean the stadium hasn't done any renovations since the 40s?
Even though they had renovation?
Yeah. Same seats.
Exactly.
Moe peps up the Macedonian wonder, and Walkoff replies by saying, I heart Sislak, before giving Moe a giant hug. He then takes to the plate and instantly hits a home run. Walkoff's prowess continues on the pitching mound, striking out players left and right. From the bleachers, Lenny and Carl hang several Macedonian Ks, noting of all these strikeouts.
So one opposing player attempts a bump, but Walkoff tags him out, so the player bounces in the crowd like a foul ball, ready to be caught by a fan, only to be handed off to a younger, more eager fan. Another great visual joke, just the player flying in there. So after a big win, the Topes all high-five, dumping a Gatorade bucket of potatoes on Walkoff.
I've probably talked about it before, but I feel like that's something the Savannah Bananas would do.
Mm-hmm.
They were on TV the other day, ESPN. This is a group of people. It's the Savannah Bananas and the Wild Party Animals or something like that. Anyways, it's just the Harlem Globetrotters, but instead of basketball, baseball. And they sold out an 80,000 seating stadium. It was bonkers, just seeing all the people at these games because they're goofy. It's a spectacle. And, even a pure baseball fan probably hates this kind of stuff. I don't. I think it's fun. And it's bringing families together to a fun time at the park. And at least players are having a lot of fun. I recommend checking out Savannah Bananas, if you're not a baseball fan, but just watching it because it's entertaining.
That sounds like fun. I mean, I think that baseball could do it I know it's a sport and it's a game, but I think it lacks some fun.
Well, the past couple of years they've been trying to amp up the fun and make it faster by adding a pitch clock. And then if they go to extra innings, they have a ghost runner on second. So that means
it's scary.
The game could be over. Well, it's an actual person, Steve.
Oh.
The ghost union said no.
Good.
Slimer's the head of the union.
Of course. Hold on in head.
The vice president is Patrick Swayze.
And his assistant, Casper.
They recently had to let go of Bill Cosby allegations. He was Ghost Dad, Steve.
Right, and their human agent, Haley Joel Osment. They couldn't see him anymore.
Well, he also had some issues with some substance abuse and was using inappropriate language, so they had to kick him out.
So outside the stadium, Walkoff is interviewed by Kevin Millar, who attempts to relate to him by recalling his days with the Marlins. But, as Moe translates, in Macedonia, their widows chant mournful dirges for the garbage Marlins. Bart is eager to meet his new idol, but Walkoff has other matters to attend to, leaving Bart to watch baseball with Abe.
Oh, where's Walkoff going? He said I could meet him.
Sorry, kid. The big lug's teaching himself English by watching Family Guy.
Giggity, giggity.
I gotta go. It's a road trip, and I am traveling in style. I'm gonna be so regular.
Walkoff approaches the plate, and here comes the pitch, sponsored by Squatty Potty. It's a long drive, sponsored by Hankook Tires. Walkoff makes it to third base, sponsored by Trojan Condoms. Trojan, for when she waves you in.
Wait a minute! This game is just one big commercial!
Hey, this series of sponsorships is sponsored by...
After a hard day turning Macedonian into normal, I wet my whistle with grenade.
Kaboom drink!
Kaboom! Drink!
In that clip, we saw Moe get on the... Well, Walkoff got in the bus, and behind the bus was a horse trailer, and Moe was eating a trough of oats, and that's why he'd be so regular.
Yeah, I mean, there's the constant advertisements with all major sports. I feel like it's like baseball, you go through a nice inning and then a commercial break, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you going to do? Like football, I think, is the most egregious.
100%.
But now it's just I'm so annoyed because to me, baseball used to be a little bit pure. Like they didn't have advertisements on their jerseys, but now they got goddamn sponsors on like their sleeves.
Ugh. Like NASCAR drivers. That's gross.
Like I hated it. This is how annoying, like how baseball annoyed I was. Like when Nike took over making the uniforms, they put like the Nike swoosh like on the chest and like put it on the sleeve at least. It looks out of place. I hate it.
Yeah.
When do players start putting names on the back? I just want their number. I don't need their name.
And like, where do you even need the sports logo? That's egregious too.
You know, Bart was right. They wear tight pants. Why don't they just not wear pants at all?
Well, if you're going to do that, they might as well just be naked. And why are they playing baseball? They should just be having sex.
Yeah, bring the whole family and watch the new baseball created by Steve.
Bringing a whole new name to the Yankees and the Browns.
Well, that's a football team, Steve. But there was a St. Louis Browns baseball team, so there you go.
Exactly, I knew that.
So as spinning headlines of the Springfield Bugle reports, the Padres, Cardinals, and Angels all lose faith as the Isotopes sweep the road trip. See, the joke is, Steve, Padres, it's like priests, and Cardinals are like the priest's best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the Angels are the sexy things they think about that are dead.
Little boys?
No angels.
Okay.
A lot of little boys become angels.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Angels in the Outfield.
Ah, yes, so good save. You don't have to think about dead children. Just think about Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
His childhood acting career is dead.
That's true.
He's now like an adult.
He had a show on Apple TV that came in like 2022 that I had never heard about, and I tried to watch an episode, and it was okay. You'd think that I would have heard about it or there'd be promotions for it, but nothing.
Maybe that's why, because it was just okay.
Yeah.
Apple is like the worst at promoting their content.
And yet they like have really good shows and they get big stars. But yeah, it's weird. Like they literally have a device that half the people have in their hands most of the time that they could be using to promote their products like all the time. And I'm glad they don't, but they could.
I caught up on the Severance shows and the other one, I think, what's the other show I watch? Oh, the one with Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, The Studio.
Yeah, I haven't watched the new John Hamm one. I believe it's just about him being in a fraternity and severely beating a pledge to near death.
That's right.
He tries to wipe it under the rug and doesn't want to be reminded of that because it's, a shameful thing from his past. But so are fraternities, and they should be obliterated.
I agree. And also, John Hamm has a big penis.
Is that an excuse for him to beat a man to death, Steve?
No, it doesn't excuse me either. So that's why I don't beat men to death with my big penis.
Steve, okay. Well, while at bat, Walkoff is hit by the ball, so he starts cursing out the pitcher in Macedonian. Luckily, Moe is there to translate, saying, "May fire burn down your peepers." Pitcher, who is Japanese, has a translator of his own, who threatens to fold him like an origami frog. And this results in fisticuffs from the translators.
At a hot nightclub, Moe and Walkoff toast. Moe with a bottle of duff that he's knocking back, while Walkoff sucks a potato from a straw until it's down to nothing. And another headline is shown, this time from the Springfield Shopper, which reads, Astros beats garbage cans, tropes beat Astros. I don't know why the Astros specifically, I don't get that joke, but maybe it's a baseball thing.
Well, everyone in baseball fans, we hate the Astros because they're garbage people because they cheat.
Okay, they're the Patriots of baseball.
Yeah, and they're a Texas team. I can't support any Texas team. Never have, never will.
That's
Sorry,
fair.
Texas. This segment is sponsored by the Texas Rangers. Oh, no, Steve.
Oh, no.
If you want to watch a baseball game with George W. Bush, make it a Rangers game. He owns part of the team.
And he'll give you cocaine.
So at the Cincinnati Red Roof Inn, Moe offers a woman a traditional Macedonian vest in memory of her meaningful bone down with Mr. Walkoff. Outside of the hotel room, several other women wait in line to have their chance with the Walkoff, who excitedly says giggity. I forgot to mention how much I thought the joke of him learning English from Family Guy was great.
It's really funny. And also, I don't assume that there's any beef between the Family Guy and the Simpsons because they've had a crossover. But it's nice that the fact that Family Guy has been in the world for so long that they just kind of accept the existence of each other in their own worlds. So it's nice. I like it.
But it is weird because they have crossover. They're in the same universe, yet Family Guy's a TV show.
That is true. That is a little confusing. I don't know how that works. Well, back at the Isotopes Tropodrome Stadium, Bart laughs off Abe's story of steroid users getting off scot-free. And then they try to go to their seats, but are stopped as they are not De Beers Diamond Club Gold members. And so after looking at the luxurious premium seats, Abe argues that his seats have been in the family for 80 years. So the seat attendant assures Abe that his seats in Section J are still fine. It's just that Section J is high above the field, above the Duff blimp, and in the clouds. Abe's frustration continues as he tries to enjoy some concessions.
2 hot dogs for me and my grandson.
Oh, we don't sell hot dogs anymore. Creme brulee! Get your creme brulee here. Served in a souvenir ramekin. Seafood towers. It ain't a ball game without a seafood tower. Ortolan, brandy-drowned baby birds. Comes with team logo napkin to hide your shame from God.
That's so wrong.
No hot dogs. Sit down, you bandwagon Betties. Oh, is there any place left that's just for only fans?
So the joke of concessions at ballparks is it's not your traditional hot dogs and popcorn like it is, but you still get a hot dog. It's just now you can have there's a lot more food and go into a professional game. There's too much options. I get beer and maybe some peanuts.
I mean, I've been to a baseball game, but I know when I go to a minor league hockey game, I just want maybe some crappy nachos or a beer or, whatever. But I don't want to have a filet mignon while I'm watching a game.
Although the seafood tower sounds kind of fun.
It does.
I'll take that.
I would take some creme brulee too. It's delicious.
You get sushi at a Mariners game. You get so much stuff at a Mariners game. But yeah, it becomes you've already spent so much money on the tickets and then the food.
Which is never cheap anyway. So if you're getting premium food, it's only going to be that much more expensive.
Well, they have cheap concessions around. There's a couple places around the stadium where they have cheap areas where there's $5 cans of beer, which is nice. It's a High Life or a pub beer, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
That's kind of beer you want to drink when you're watching a baseball game anyway.
Right.
But there'll be they'll have little hot dogs for $3. I think that's fine. But usually when I go to a baseball game, I go there to drink beer, and then after the game we go to a bar and then I eat food there.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
I could go for a hot dog right about now. Now I'm thinking about it.
Hot dog does sound good.
The OnlyFans joke for Abe at the end was great.
Yeah.
I almost wondered, I know they've probably done this kind of dumb bit before, but when they were looking up to the Section J and they're going past the blimp and through the clouds, I think it'd be kind of funny if they just had off the screen, just saw the Simps. So you saw the Simpsons logo just in the clouds. But not the full logo, just cut off,
Oh, that'd be really funny. I was thinking that they could do the escalator to nowhere, but I like yours even more. That'd be really funny. Yeah.
Well, Abe uses the search engine Oogle to search for OnlyFans, and surprised to see that the homegrown pornography website. He runs to Moe to complain, but the bartender turned translator is too busy helping walk off on the product launch of his caffeinated goat jerky. Though you did hear it from Moe, they'll soon be branching out to llama.
Yum, yum.
I think we talked about how we want to start the Patreon, but I think we should just be an OnlyFans, because it's not just about porn. But I think it'd be funny if subscribe to our OnlyFans, which would be essentially our Patreon. But it'll be through OnlyFans. And then fans of this podcast would love to have another OnlyFans account they have to subscribe to.
Exactly. So while they're scrolling through all their finding people doing whatever sort of acts they do, they can see us fucking things up in a different way. I want to see some assholes. Here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
So Abe confronts his recently made friend, asking him what happened to that guy who loved baseball so much he taped over the 1998 Westminster Dog Show just to make that video for walk-off. But Moe argues that the dogs weren't even that hot that year, but Abe just tells Moe that he's a sellout. The two men turn their backs and argue, getting into the topic of commercialism in sports.
They're putting ads everywhere now, even on the bases.
You're just jealous that I'm Walkoff's buddy. That beautiful Balkan boy loves me, and Springfield loves him.
And all this fiddle-faddle that came with him is bad for baseball.
Having empty stadiums was bad for baseball. Now they're packed, making money water over bunion. And soon the league is going to expand to 50 teams. They might even get one in Tampa. Well, I say I saved baseball, and you are just a bunch of sour grapes.
I wish I never let you into my life or my phone.
You know, one thing I do like about the pairing of Moe and Abe is that Moe is kind of an old-timey person, like the way he speaks, like that use and like sour grapes. And so like him and Abe work well together. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't done this sooner.
I'm going to agree with you.
Thank you.
The joke about a baseball team in Tampa, because there currently is one, I think is funny, but no one cares that there's a baseball team in Tampa. They lost their stadium this last year and now have to play at the Yankees spring training facility that's in Tampa. So,
oh, that's sad.
I know, like, Portland is trying to get, like, we're really close in Portland to get a Major League Baseball. Like, we got plans. It's not going to come out of taxpayers' money, which is the only thing that people is concerned. I guarantee you it's going to do fine in Portland.
Yeah.
But we're just like, okay, we can buy the Athletics because they were leaving. Like, or just come up here. Or, like, right now, Tampa Bay, it's like, well, maybe we could just take the Tampa Bay and have them come here. But I think they're actually going to expand the league to 2 more teams. So we're in the running. I think, I don't know, Springfield maybe we'll get a team.
Yeah.
Springfield, USA, I mean.
Of course. Yeah, they're the best. So let me ask you, if Portland were to have a team, what kind of, what do you think the team name and mascot should be?
I mean, I was hoping, like, the Athletics just came up here because I don't think you would change the name because Portland Athletics is fine.
Yeah.
I've been happy with that, but I think if you're going to have a team in Portland, you're going to have to be called something like the Portland Coffee Roasters.
I like it.
I don't know. I mean, I grew up with, like, the minor league Portland Beavers. I would just maybe keep it a Beaver just for tradition.
Beaver, it seems like Beaver is the right way to go. Like, you have a good mascot.
Yeah, would there be too much confusion with the college, Oregon State, because they're the Beavers?
Well, then we can just be the Ducks.
Oh, there you go. I think we should be the Portland Annoyed Grump Boys.
I like it.
I think we should, if they come here, let's put our hat in to be the broadcast guys.
I like it. I just need to learn all the baseball words like bat.
You could be the color commentator.
Commentator of color.
Yeah. Like, we should have done this whole episode in, like, announcer voice, like, Moe argues that the Dogs weren't even that hot that year, but Abe just tells Moe that he's a sellout. You know, I think fans would have liked that.
Yeah, I think that would have been fun and not at all, like, hard to keep up with.
Yeah. Abe deletes Moe from his phone and storms off. Moe goes to walk off in the bleachers, wondering if he is watching a potato unboxing video. In reality, Walkoff is on a betting website, DraftPig. Moe warns him that the gambling could lead to suspension, but at least he isn't betting on base. So Walkoff is betting not only on baseball, but on the Springfield Isotopes.
Oh, no. So as Moe freaks out in both English and Macedonian, Walkoff apologizes, wondering if he's about to be whipped. Moe wonders how Walkoff even knows about sports betting until he looks around to see ads for betting sites such as
Vig Notaro,
Oprah's Sportsbook Club,
LongshotGimmick.com,
FanDrool,
Bookie Monster,
BetYourPaycheck.com,
OddsBet.com,
and Gamblers Anonymous, with those S's being $signs.
My favorite is Vig Notaro, based off of the comedian Tig Notaro. That's
really good.
Like, you'll probably, if someone said to her, like, hey, The Simpsons had, like, a really funny joke about your name, she would probably say, what's The Simpsons?
Yeah, just in a deadpan voice.
Yeah, she probably has ever even heard of this show, The Simpsons.
What I find fascinating about Tig Notaro, I love her stand-up. I think she's brilliant. She had a podcast, like, 2 years ago with Cheryl Hines, and that's weird to me. Like, I just don't know what they talk about when they hang out.
Do they still hang out?
Yeah, I doubt they do now. Yeah. Cheryl Hines is confusing to me.
Yeah. She should have never divorced Larry.
That's right. Who's the asshole now? So, at the Springfield Retirement Castle, where when God closes a coffin, he opens a vacancy, Lisa is teaching the seniors a class on how to email. She explains that the subject line should be short, not containing the entirety of the text. That old Jewish man is still learning, writing in the subject line, Dear Deli, I want to complain about the soup. What was in my bowl? Today was a disgrace to soup, spoons, broth, and saltines.
Moe runs in needing to talk to Abe in private, away from what he calls Wrinkletons. Abe isn't interested in what Moe has to say, but Moe goes on. He tells Grampa that Walkoff has been gambling, as it is about to come clean via a press conference. Moe wants Abe's help to talk to Walkoff out of admitting his wrongdoing, so all the benefits of the team will go away. Like the trips, Moe being called Mr. Creepo, and the steaks with the little plastic cowl in them saying how they've been cooked. He can't go back to unlabeled steak. Abe doesn't care about Moe's plight and instead visits his grandson.
Yay!
So that's all you care about? You don't give a leprechaun's lick about baseball. And now you want my help? Well, tough time, boys. Lisa, print out my email so it's ready for the email man.
That's not how it works. Okay.
Hiya, Bumpy. I got some bad news about the sport you love as much as I do. Turns out baseball breeds nothing but snakes and skunks. And Walkoff is the biggest rat of them all.
Walkoff? Is he hurt? That means I got an edge. I gotta lay down a bet now.
You're gambling?
Of course. Everybody else is cashing in. I'd be a sucker not to.
Where'd you ever get that idea?
I learned from watching you. Darvish. You's covered the spread in 6 straight starts.
And how does a kid get on a gambling site?
Easy. Dad helped me.
That's the thing about furniture. It has an agenda.
It's kind of obvious that Bart would have a gambling problem because his mother did. It's hereditary.
Exactly, yeah.
Homer's kind of like great in this episode because he's not in it, but like everything he's in is like he's inebriated or on the floor.
Mm-hmm. It's just kind of pure gold what he does. And
yeah.
Also, the joke, I learned it from watching You, of course, referencing the classic anti-drug commercial that made me want to try drugs or candy. I don't know. But then it goes on to say Yu Darvish, who is, of course, a baseball player. Really funny.
I always think of I really want a fried egg when I remember those old anti-drug commercials.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
This is your brain on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Yeah, classic.
I also remember another one where this girl got high and her dog talked to her. I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I want a talking dog.
Are you sure you just weren't watching Sabrina and it was a talking cat?
Or maybe I was this high and watching Scooby-Doo. I don't know.
Drugs and Scooby-Doo don't make Steve. It's like water and ice.
That's right. One's cool, the other's cooler.
Abe thinks the whole situation is terrible, and Bart agrees, saying that if the Phillies don't get at least 3.5 runs today, he'll have to sell his bike. So at his press conference, Walkoff uses Moe to translate his confession. Moe tearfully admits to betting on baseball, but Moe tells the press that he's actually saying that he loves Springfield and that everybody should buckle up on the way home, or something like that.
Walkoff continues by crying out, shame, shame. But Moe claims that he's saying, go Tropes. And then Steve Gelbs of Draft Pig News asks Walkoff why he's crying and whipping himself. And as the player continues his shameful admission, Moe says that he's excited for Pittsburgh and their Duquesne incline funicular. BetBastards.com rep and noted pervert Matt Lauer speaks for the first time, saying that they all accept Moe's thin explanation. And then Moe tries to wrap things up, but is interrupted by Abe.
Great, very good questions. Hard-hitting. See us at the ballpark.
Wait one milk of magnesia minute. I have a question, not for Walkoff, but for an old friend.
This is only for credentialed press.
Shut up, Skinny Weinstein. What do you say when baseball's unquenchable pursuit of greed leads to a 10-year-old boy gambling on your sport?
I'm just gambling till I dig myself out of this hole, and then I'm gonna quit. Until football starts.
Bart? Betting?
Walkoff, who do you like for the AFC South? The Titans are plus 750.
No! Oh, he's just a sweet, innocent kid. Just like Walkoff. And I've roomed them both. The truth is, Walkoff's been gambling.
Whoa!
Yeah, uses right to gasp and murmur. He's been betting like a plumber on payday. He's betting on baseball.
Baseball is this sport.
Here's the end. Baseball's the sport. Matt Lauer, was that his voice, Steve?
It was not. They could not get him.
Oh, that's weird.
I know, especially when he called him a skinny Weinstein.
What a weird, let's throw in a Matt Lauer joke at his expense. And, I haven't even thought of him since this episode and after he was canceled, 5 years ago?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is, he known to work in baseball now, or?
I have no idea. I just assume, he's probably made enough money that he can just slowly and quietly slip away and not be seen or heard from ever again.
Yeah, like lock himself away using that button. It's below his desk.
Jesus. All right. Great question, Steve.
Thank you. Moe goes on to say that baseball used to be a man making hundreds of dollars playing a child's game, but then money came into the picture. Now the entire league is in bed with the bookies, from the teams, stadiums, and even the networks. The reporters from Odds Jazeera, E$PN, and the Fox Betwork all claim to warn about betting responsibly, just like Moe tells his booze bags to drink responsibly. Moe then makes an impassioned speech.
Gambling's the top of the food chain now. Pays all your salaries. But hey, when a potato out of dirt like Walkoff actually makes a bet, ho, you hypocrites pretend to be offended. You've ruined the 6-hour sun slide between guys that are too skinny for football and too short for basketball that used to deserve to be called America's pastime.
Thanks, Mo. You did save baseball.
We did.
After a thorough 45-minute investigation, the commissioner's office has determined that Aropos Walkoff is completely innocent of betting on baseball.
The guilty party was determined to be the disgraced former team translator, Mo Sizzler.
Looking for a fresh start, Walkoff has signed an $800 million contract with the newly renamed San Francisco Draft Pigs.
I'll rich here now. Giggity!
It's funny how, like, they're talking about sports gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember correctly, great baseball player Pete Rose, was ostracized or outed from baseball at all forever for gambling. He was never allowed to show his face, right?
Right.
Banned from the game, never going to be in the Hall of Fame. He should have been, for his playing skills. So it's weird that, like, and he just recently died a couple years ago, but it's weird, like, at the time, I think even before his death, how, like, gambling was just such a part of the game. I wonder, like, what he thought about that. Like, this is kind of fucked up. I was, kicked out for gambling, which, he shouldn't have done, but still.
You make a good point, because I feel like even as, like, a casual baseball fan in the 90s, or the 80s and the 90s, like, hearing Pete Rose, that was just synonymous with a bad guy. And it's funny how demonized he was for doing a thing that is so common. You make a really good point.
Yeah. I don't even think that they are kind of referencing Pete Rose, because I believe last season, I think it wasn't Ohtani's translator was betting on sports.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of where Mo's talking about, I'm going back to Pete Rose, but this is really about how, like, Ohtani's translator was betting on sports, and then they were investigating to see if Shohei had anything to do with it, but then they make that joke in this, like, after a intensive 43-minute investigation, he's clear.
Right.
So that's kind of where this reference is coming from. So back at the bar, Mo states that when one has to choose between your moneymaker or your Mo, the choice is clear. Abe is just relieved that Bart is no longer gambling, but just then Bart walks in wearing a pinstripe suit, saying that the drinks are on him. At the very least, he's not losing. So as the credits roll, internet sports sensation John Boy commentates on the scene from the episodes, but if you want to hear a couple idiots repeating back to what you just watched, just listen to the Annoyed Grunt Boys.
Yeah.
That's us.
And that's our episode. Craig, let's say we take a break, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back. Let's finish up our discussion of Abe League of Their Mo. We'll talk about the things that we liked in this episode, the things that made us laugh, and our thoughts about this episode, and what we're watching next week. But before we do all that, we like to give each other some gifts, be good sports, if you will, and celebrate the gift-giving friendship that we have. So for you, Craig, I got you a squatty potty, hand-cooked tires, and some Trojan condoms, because they're all sponsors of this episode. And also, I got you, because you are a father, a Leb brand diaper bag. That's all I got you.
Okay, that's good enough, Steve.
Okay.
Even though I already have a squatty potty.
I figured you did.
I guess I could use another one. I'll just take it with me when I go public pooping.
There you go.
Wow, what do I get you that you already haven't had? I think you could use more money in your life. So
you're not wrong.
I had some people hack into your bank accounts, especially the overseas ones, and I just put all of your money into sports betting websites.
Oh.
So, there you go. Hopefully you win big. I got you some concessions, but not hot dogs. I got you that seafood tower and that bird. I forgot the name. Where it's a dead bird. Was that one of the things? Yeah, you got a couple of those.
Very nice.
And here's a potato with a straw in it, so you could suck a potato with a straw, suck it down.
I like it.
And then here's Danny Trejo. He's in the back. You have to go outside and say hi to him.
Okay, I will. After the record.
He's filming a movie and a commercial at the same time. So.
Okay, of course. He's doing his own Simpsons podcast too.
Yeah. Which will be more successful than this one. And here's a grenade.
Oh, tasty.
Oh, no, wait, that's an actual grenade. That's fine. Happy Christmas.
Thank you, Craig. I appreciate it. What in this episode made you laugh?
So I did say, even though he was such a minor character in this episode, Homer, all of his instances of being on the floor a couple times, him going into Moe's and being very sitcom confused. I guess as a baseball fan, I was delighted by a lot of the puns and jokes and a lot of inside baseball jokes,
Hey.
The newspaper headlines, I think, about the Angels and the Cardinals and the Padres was very fun. MVJ, it's tough because is it Moe and Grampa? The problem is they're both kind of like the straight characters in a way. I guess my favorite joke was from Moe when it was talking about the Misery Loves Company joke. But no, I'm going to give it to Homer. It's the MPJ.
That's fair.
How about you? What were your favorite scenes?
The emails from the different baseball teams, kind of poking their fun at them. I like the jokes in the beginning about how the clever cowards are playing baseball because, they're old men or children. Of course, the Martin Lewis joke was probably my favorite joke of the episode. The Padres, Angels, and Cardinals jokes that you mentioned made me laugh a lot. And there's a lot of just good jokey jokes in this episode that I really appreciate. But yeah, it's hard to say who is the MVJ. I guess, yeah, I'm going to give it to Abe, just because I feel like in the past I've been a little bit critical of Abe and Abe episodes, but I like this one. Oh, we'll get to it in a moment, but yeah. Also, I really enjoyed Homer saying scared. But overall, Craig, what were your thoughts on this episode?
I guess I'm a little biased because of the baseball references and as a baseball fan, so it's kind of fun to see your show and then doing something that you'd like. It'd be like if an episode of The Simpsons was about making coffee and how excited you were. I don't know what your traits are, by the way. I don't know what you like. I'm assuming you like coffee and Epstein Island information.
Yeah, I mean, you've only known me 30 years.
Yeah. But no, yeah, so it's fun to see all those jokes and references, especially with the modern day, like the Otanis and the gambling and the modern stuff that goes on with baseball. But then it becomes what is this episode about? It starts off, is it about how there's no attendance in baseball, so they want power hitters to bring people back to the game. But then Abe complains because it's all about advertising, and then it's about gambling. So I think they're hitting all those strides, and it's funny that it's coming from a Canadian writing about America's pastime. Although as of this record, who knows? The Canadian elections are happening now, so welcome to America, Canada, the 51st state. Because I think that's what they voted for, right?
I think so, yeah. And why wouldn't they?
Yeah, who doesn't want to be part of America? Even with that, the idea of teaming up Homer's dad, who's Abe, and Moe. See, I saved myself from that one, huh?
Very good, yeah.
I like this because it kind of gave me that idea, that memory of watching Road to Cincinnati with Chalmers and Skinner. And I think if I was a kid, I would hate episodes that never really solely focused on the core family.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after 36 years, I think The Simpsons are allowed to branch out and do episodes where it's still a Simpsons character, with Abe being one of the main characters for this episode and Moe. But it's fun to give Homer a break. Even Lisa had some good stuff in this episode, with her trying to teach the seniors to email.
Mm-hmm.
Bart's becoming addicted to gambling. So that's what I'm trying to say is what is ultimately this episode about? And they kind of get into it too. The episode is, Grandpa wants it back to the way it used to be, but then the way it used to be was so boring that no one wants it anymore. And I guess you had to have an out for Moe and Grandpa, so I guess the gambling comes in. But I still have fun with it. So even with my quabbles, it's because of the baseball references. That's why I enjoyed it. And it's an episode that I would watch again. You're right, the Martin Lewis joke is probably the best joke. I forgot about that. If I did have to give this a ranking, they obviously reference Shohei Ohtani, and he signed a 10-year contract for $700 million for the Dodgers last year, right? Or the year before. $700 million, I think that's just how much we get paid each for this podcast, right? $700 million?
Per episode, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we get. So out of $700 million, I'll give this episode, how much, the Devil's worth. $666 million.
Wow, that's great.
How about you, Steve?
This episode had big cleats to fill, because, Homer at the Bat, one of the best episodes ever, and I think that to revisit baseball in the Simpsons world is, hard to do. I think that this episode did a really good job of capturing modern baseball while still enveloping itself in classic Simpsons. And what I like most about this is that the jokes were very classic Simpsons jokes heavy. There's a lot of wordplay, a lot of just the silly spinning headlines, and it feels very classic. But also, as you say, it is modern. But also, you make a really interesting point about the plot being a little muddied by the message. I guess at its core, it's Abe wanting to enjoy the purity of baseball, and then the world being too busy and too much advertising in the world to really enjoy the pureness of the slow baseball game. But yeah, I think that ultimately the pairing of Moe and Abe makes for a lot of fun. Walkoff was a fun character. I don't know if he's offensive to Macedonians, but it seemed fine. And I liked that this tire fire made him feel like home. I don't follow baseball, but I think it's fine. And I think that this one was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And if I had to give it a ranking, they showed that Walkoff's batting average was .358. And so I'm going to give this a 296 out of 358.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out of 1,000 though, right?
Yes.
That seems not that good, but I don't know how numbers work.
If it's 1,000, you'd have to hit every single time you're at bat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's hard.
And get on base. Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a little difficult, Steve. No. They say the hardest thing to do is hit a baseball, professional baseball, because the ball's coming at you about 100 miles an hour, and you have a stick to hit it. So it's one of the hardest things to do in sports.
That makes sense.
I'm going to join a senior league here when I turn 45. Is that all right?
I think so, yeah. I think it'll be great.
Okay.
So this one knocked it out of the park, you could say. But will next week's? Well, we'll have to find out. We got another new episode, season 36, episode 20, or episode 16, but it's 20. Craig, what do you think the title is?
This, of course, was a parody of A League of Their Own, a Gina Davis, Tom Hanks romp. But also, don't forget, John Lovitz was in A League of Their Own. And he also was in another baseball-esque movie. Remember Rob Schneider and David Spade and Napoleon Dynamite classic, The Benchwarmers?
Who could forget that classic, well-known film?
So that's why I think next week's episode is going to be called The Marge Warmer.
I like it. But sadly, that is not the title, because next week's title is Stu Lies. What do you think that's about?
Stu Lies? Well, Stu, I think of, I guess, either a guy named Stu, like Disco Stu. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it's Disco Stu, who lies about being a fan of disco, which I think he has, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's really more of a fan of making the soup, stew. So now he wants to be referred to as Stu, with the help, of course, Marge.
I like it.
B-story, Lisa and Homer decide to take up making macaroni and cheese for little German children, but then when they take them away, they'll say, Minecraft!
Well, that would be a hit for sure. I know I would love it. But sadly, no. The plot is Homer reinvigorates a celebrity chef's passion for food with some help from the mob.
I feel like we've been having a lot of mob-related episodes lately.
I was going to say the very same thing. What's interesting is we have some guest stars, but I don't see Tony Montana as one of them.
Tony Montana? Al Pacino?
Hooah, that's a great ass. What's his name? Oh, fuck, my brain. Who plays Fat Tony?
Joe Montana.
There it is.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, yes. No, we have 2 guest stars at least. We have Mads Mikkelsen playing Wilhelm von Warnheim, and we get John DiMaggio, Bender himself, as Thad.
What's with Mad's parents? Like, we just had a child. What are we gonna name him? I don't know. I'm pretty upset about having this child with you, wife. Oh, you're mad about that? Yeah. And mad about you playing on in the background. I'm like, Mads, that's perfect.
Could have named him Paul Reiser, but no, we had to go with Mads. Do you think he has a sister named Caroline in the city? Suddenly Susan? Anyway.
Suddenly Susan. That's a better joke, Steve. Better punch up. All right. Can we go home now?
I guess so. And hey, we hope that you listen to us on your drive home or wherever you want to. And we want to hear from you. And you can do that by contacting us on the socials like your Instagram or your Threads or your YouTube at 138Simpsons. Or you can always email us, probably best, at 138simpsons@gmail.com.
And don't forget to check out our TeePublic site, tpublic.com/user/AnnoyedGruntBoys for some Annoyed Grunt Boy merch. And, leave a review for this podcast on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast app you listen to it on. Leave 5 stars or that equivalent, but you don't have to leave a real review. You can just tell us the first time you got to second base.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty. Thank you so much for listening. For this week, I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And remember, may fire burn down your peppers.
Trojans for when she waves you in.
Misery isn't so bad when you have company.
Yeah, hey, they should make a saying about that. Yeah, but they probably won't.
Giggity!